What is going on, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? The ACMJS Gamer here. Today we're here to talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, this is a speech that I believe has been commented on, but only in article form and not in video. This is the first time we're watching this speech. This is by Mark Alexis Cote, or Cote, however you say it in French. And he basically gives a speech on Assassin's Creed Shadows, and we're going to watch it, and I'm going to give my thoughts as we go along.
In today's shifting cultural landscape, we face an additional and unforeseen challenge as discussions around representation and inclusivity in media have become increasingly prominent.
Well, first of all, they brought that on themselves when they decided to represent one black man in ancient Japan compared to, I don't know, a Japanese man and a Japanese woman, and the fact that they decided to focus on this one person because he's black, it was made very, very prominent. So when he's basically saying, oh yeah, well, it's more important now than ever to recognize recognition, well, how about if you represented Japanese culture instead of the one black man in Japanese culture? Maybe you wouldn't have an issue with recognition.
These conversations can influence how our games are perceived.
Yes,
But
because people didn't like the way you are projecting Japanese history.
rather than shy away from those conversations, we should see them as an opportunity. Assassin's Creed has always been about exploring the full spectrum of human history. And by its very nature, that history is diverse.
True, history is
Staying
diverse.
true to history means embracing the richness of human perspectives without compromise.
I don't know about that last
For
part.
example, in Assassin's Creed Shadows, we highlight figures, both fictional, like Naoe, a Japanese woman warrior, and historical, like Yasuke, the African-born samurai.
That's still to be debated.
While the inclusion of a black samurai
Uh-huh.
in feudal Japan has sparked questions and even controversy,
because that's what you chose to
Naoe,
focus on.
as a fictional character, has also faced scrutiny for her gender. But just as Yasuke's
She's faced scrutiny for her gender because of historical context.
presence in Japanese history is fact,
No, it's controversial.
so too are the stories of women who defied societal expectations and took up arms in times of conflict. So, while both Naoe and Yasuke's stories are works of historical fiction, they reflect the collision of different worlds, cultures, and roles, and their inclusion is precisely the kind of narrative.
They reflect. What culture is Yasuke reflecting? Because he says they reflect
Different
collision
worlds
of different worlds, cultures, and roles in their inclusion. I can understand the roles part being male and female, the gender, I get that. But the cultures, the Japanese culture that you're not really representing and you're not doing a good job of what you are doing? Interesting.
cultures, and roles, and their inclusion is precisely the kind of narrative that Assassin's Creed seeks to tell.
You mean Ubisoft?
One that reflects the complexity and interconnectedness of our shared history. And this isn't new ground for the franchise. From Altair to Aveline de Grand Pré and Raton Aketon, we've consistently introduced protagonists from diverse racial, ethnic, and gender identities. A story is in
Gender identities? What do you mean? There's two, male and female. That's all we've ever had. I don't think we've had a trans assassin. Thank you, Lord.
story is inherently diverse,
True.
and so is Assassin's Creed and the stories we tell. So, to be clear, our commitment to inclusivity is grounded in historical authenticity and respect for diverse perspectives, not driven by modern agendas.
That right there is a bunch of bullshit. I'm gonna tell you right now. Because where was the commitment to authenticity and inclusivity regarding the Japanese banners that they stole from a historical reenactment group? the half Tory Gate statue where they didn't do their research, the incorrect period art that they had in game in the gameplay. And what I mean by that is there was art in there from the wrong century from what they were trying to do. And while we're at it, why not the inclusion of legitimate fan criticism against the game when Ubisoft goes, oh, well, we don't like criticism, so we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and enrage the fans further. This game has been shrouded in controversy, and I really hope that it doesn't do well. And I was a fan of Assassin's Creed. I don't like this game. I don't like the direction they're going. I'm not buying their game. I really want to see this game fail because from every perspective that we've seen so far, from the story to the gameplay to the modern agenda that he just claimed they're not seeking, it's not good. If the gameplay was decent, I would take half a chance on it, maybe buy it on sale. But gameplay is a major function of the game, and to me, if you don't like the gameplay and you don't see where the story is going, you're not interested in the story, there's no point in playing the game. So for me personally, for those reasons, I'm out. But it's also funny how they're talking about Japanese culture and they're leaving out the Japanese people because they polled Japanese people and they're like, we don't even really care. Like, Yasuke's a footnote. He's not that big of a historical character in Japan. And if that's the case, why is Ubisoft focusing on him so much? It's because he's black. That's literally it.
Alongside these deep-rooted franchise values is our commitment to recognize and listen to legitimate criticism.
That's funny because they don't. Well, what he determines legitimate, quote-unquote, is not fan-based criticism. But I do find it funny that Ubisoft was legitimately getting mad because even the Japanese are like, we're not going to play this if you're not doing everything to such a high degree and paying attention and like making sure everything is period accurate. What's the point of playing in Japan? And I completely agree.
As an essential part of the creative process. Our community helps us grow, evolve, and deliver better games. Today, we all, however, face the added challenge of distinguishing between genuine feedback and attacks driven by intolerance.
You mean driving, feedback from actual people who would have played your game if you listened, and the people that are just going to sit there and suck you off.
The current climate is tough on our creative teams. They face lies, half-truths, and personal attacks online. When the work they've poured their hearts into is twisted into a symbol of division,
I wouldn't
it's
say
not
that.
just disheartening, it can be devastating. What keeps me going is the resilience born out of conviction that I see in our teams every day.
Sure.
I am especially proud of the Shadows team for staying true to their creative vision and the core tenets of Assassin's Creed.
Their creative vision being not accurately depicting Japan?
That's another reason why the Assassin's Creed brand framework was created, to push us to tell stories that haven't yet been explored. By choosing Naoe and Yasuke as protagonists, we are expanding the narrative landscape, offering new points of view that challenge established norms found in many works of fiction.
But every time you make a new game with a new story and new perspectives, you're always expanding the narrative lands of the franchise. So I don't really understand what's so special about these two characters in a brand new game expanding their narrative platform. They do that every time they put out a new game,
while staying true to the history that shaped them. At the end of the day, Assassin's Creed is not just a franchise. It's a platform for entertainment, dialogue, discovery, and understanding. Our commitment isn't just about reflecting on the past. It's about ensuring that the stories we tell continue to unite, inspire, and challenge players, regardless of their background. And we'll continue to stand by these values because they are central to the heart of the franchise, and I believe to the future of storytelling itself.
I in terms of challenge, he doesn't mean like, oh, something in the game is going to be difficult for players to overcome. I think when he's saying challenge, he's talking about people's beliefs being challenged with different perspectives. And I can tell you right now that I have never played an Assassin's Creed game that challenged my beliefs or has changed my way of thinking in terms of the events that they depict and display. Most of the time, that would probably be because the things that they depict, like with their characters, didn't happen. So I don't know how that would change anybody's beliefs based on things that didn't happen. The most interesting, scary thing, I guess, that might have caught people off guard was the Jinn from Mirage. That was kind of scary, where it's like, oh, this thing that lives with me at night. But then it turned out it was just the character himself. So, I mean, there's not really any type of thing like that that I think would challenge people's core beliefs.
Ultimately, we believe that the diversity and richness of the human experience is what helps Assassin's Creed resonate with players across the globe, and we're committed to standing firm on that foundation.
Okay, well, with that being said, I'm going to cut this video here. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't buy Assassin's Creed Shadows. It is definitely not worth $70, and it is definitely not worth any more than that either. I would highly, highly, highly suggest waiting for a sale, wait for the pre-orders, and wait for the reviews, and see what they do with the people who get the game early. Because if they pull a Naughty Dog, or if they pull a Dragon Age Veilguard, where they only give some people access and they don't give others, or if there's a specific section of the game they can't go past, I would say watch out for that. Like I said, I would wait. I mean, we're only in the beginning of December. This game doesn't come out till February. The core things that I am personally worried about in the game, like, I don't know, the characters, the story, the combat, those things aren't going to get fixed, and they're not going to get polished. At least to my degree of what I would want. It's a completely different game from what I would want. So, like I said, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode or the next video. Peace.